Minecraft horror is a mixed bundle. On one hand you have the classic horror videos and playable maps,
Oh! Oh!
but on the other hand you have the not scary at all screaming toldies made by people that genuinely think that loud and unfair gameplay equals funny. But a forgotten part that doesn't get a lot of coverage is fan games. Now, Minecraft fan games are of a questionable quality usually, but there is one that stands out above the rest. I'm talking about the one, the only, A Craft of Mine. Now, this isn't just Minecraft with a scary entity that screams in your face. No. It, shockingly, has an actual plot. You are essentially just some pesky kid that somehow got connected to your missing uncle's Minecraft world. He's also a disgruntled former Mojang employee that got mad because his favorite Glupshito didn't get updated. So he's like your average modern Minecraft fan. This guy, let's call him George because I refuse to call him Thomas because he will never be that Thomas. George here wants to update the crafting system, and as you will come to see, he has become a bit obsessed with it. From the start I have to say that this game looks fantastic and perfectly recreates the graphics on Minecraft itself. The rooms have this unsettling vibe in some of them, while in the others it feels quite warm and welcoming in a strange fashion. Our first puzzle is making a lever, and we get this above view of the crafting table as we drag the items in order to make the lever, which reminds me of Minecraft story mode. Our next task is making a pickaxe. We have the wood necessary in this room, where we have another note which further adds to our uncle's George descent into madness. Yes, I forgot to mention, there are notes scattered across the whole game which are quite funny to read honestly. The sticks required for our pickaxe are in this room across the dark hallway, but as we start to cross it, this happens. Yeah, George was not satisfied with just infinite items. Bro wanted custom mobs too. I gotta say, and this is for almost every monster in this game, I think they are fantastic design wise and they really give off the vibe of something cursed that should not exist. This long leg fella is only seen in this one scene, which is a shame honestly. It's also a shame that in the same room where we are told about the monsters there is like a huge window staring to the darkness. Imagine how cool it could have been to see some creatures there. But oh well, we break this core block with our new pickaxe, then we grab a stick and make a torch before going inside this long dark corridor, where we hear something spooky. I'm sure it's nothing to worry about. We eventually are led into this parkour area that every indie horror game must have, and as a pro gamer and absolute parkour civilization master I totally did it in my first try. Totally. When we reach the other side we find a diamond, but oh no, we gotta run from this fleshy insect creature that chases us throughout the parkour section and back through the tunnel before getting crushed to death, but at least he drops a lever after dying. Epic fact, the first time I died, it somehow bugged the game into respawning the color, and by falling on the other side, I softlocked because my pickaxe disappeared to God knows where. After placing the lever, we enter a huge library room and get more details on how George's custom mobs don't attack him because they view him as a god, which leads us to the reason this video is titled Minecraft's almost perfect fan game, because this next section sucks ass. You must craft a custom lever by grabbing a few items scattered across this dark room with pillars. You are also stuck with this mutated cucumber with legs that the moment it notices you, it immediately speeds towards you like a professional athlete. You can hide in like 3 places, which sounds good if you forget that the cucumber is faster than you, and unless you are next to the hiding spot, it's an instant game over. You are supposed to listen to its absolutely gross sounds to determine where he is, except he sounds almost the same whether it is next to you or in the opposite end of the room, and sometimes it just screams in one of your ears, so you are supposed to go to the opposite direction, but it can just troll you. I had a moment where sounds were heard in the left ear, so I went on the right, only for it to just be there. The guy also just tends to remain stuck next to your hiding spot, which results in a soft lock because you can't leave without it attacking you. Like here, watch this.
Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity? Insanity is doing the exact same fucking thing over and over again, expecting shit to change. That is crazy.
Does this look fun to you? Yeah, thought so too. Not to mention it can attack you while crafting, so congrats on finding all the items, your reward is dying. His design is also just the worst out of everyone here. With this guy you just need to get lucky honestly. If I were to suggest how to change this guy, I would simply just give the player a sprint option. Or I don't know, you could make him a weeping angel style enemy. This section is pretty disappointing in a pretty good game, and it just kinda sucks that the only craftable thing that is not from the actual Minecraft is another lever, but glue. Moving on, we get this large room with an altar dedicated to the crafting table, because George here is now completely in love with the crafting table, and he also has a god complex, and only finds comfort in the monsters he made. Just like me for real. There's also an S-tier music playing here. Just that good. In order to progress, we must go into this smaller library room and find items necessary for, you guessed it, another lever. If we look above at the ceiling, we can see a void mass with a lot of tiny eyes staring at us and some weird noises playing. I find this actually pretty cool, it's a neat visual. After placing down the lever, we can enter this room with 4 platforms and a pickaxe at the end. After grabbing it, we are put in a boss fight against this void mass. We have to stay in the platform that has a lamp turned on for 3 sequences, as the mass impales the other platforms before revealing its core, which you have to break. Repeat this 2 more times with the added difficulty of barriers and you will successfully defeat the void mass. This is my favorite section in the entire game, and I think the developer should have invested more on stuff like this and some more puzzles than whatever the cucumber section was. After dealing with the void mass, we can break this block, and after one final parkour section, we arrive at our last note where George just says that he's gonna show us his revenge or something. We enter this elevator and witness the most anticlimactic ending possible. We see a giant crafting table as George enters the world and decides to ban us because we are unworthy to behold the art of the craft. Horror and what we find scary is quite subjective. This being said, I think this game does horror pretty well. Sure, it's not the type of horror that keeps you up at night, but it's still scary in its own way. The game throughout its environment gives off the vibe of you stumbling somewhere that you shouldn't be. A private laboratory of horrors, and the mansion of a lunatic with its twisted residents waiting at every corner to hunt you. Despite the antagonist being a little goofy, there is an underlying story of someone becoming more and more obsessed with their passion, losing their sanity and morality in the process, the degradation of the artist in a way, and I personally find this disturbing, but hey, that's just me and my silly opinions. A craft of mine does Minecraft horror in a unique way that blows the competition out of the water. My only criticism is that the section with the green monster just sucks and the game is kinda short. A few more puzzles and encounters like the void mass would have made this game truly perfect, but I think it still is very good and I recommend checking it out. This being said, I was your friendly monster crafting robot and I will see you all next time.
Are those dolls? Ah!